So now, having experienced compiling programs using the command line and using the MinGW compiler, just a reminder that the program we've been invoking is GCC at the command line, and we've been writing our programs using Notepad, a text editor. We're now going to just improve how productive we can be by removing some of the barriers that exist when we're working on the command line. And the one way that we're going to do that is we're going to use a text editor called TextPad, and other text editors probably do the same thing, but this is the one that we're going to be using. You can use a free trial of it, and if you like the look of it, you might want to buy it. It's about £20, and if you decide that it really does make you productive, then maybe you can go ahead and give the people who made this a little bit of money for a great product. So once you've downloaded it from here and you've got it in your downloads, it'll look something like this. Install it and open up TextPad. So you'll get a window along these lines, and before we can use this, so this is very straightforward. We can type our programs into the document window here, but the important thing is to configure it so that we can automatically run GCC, and we can automatically run the command line to execute our programs once they've compiled successfully, and to be able to see the errors arriving in this particular window under tool output here. So for configuration options, there's quite a few steps involved, but it's very straightforward. So you just go under configure and preferences, and the first thing you'll need to do is just click on tools just to start with. Now I've already got my two tools added here for compiling a program and running a program, but you're just going to click on tools here, not the plus button, just the tools, and then add first of all a program. And so the program that you're going to add is GCC, because that's what we're using. So let's just scroll to where that is stored. There's my compiler stored right on the C drive, and from here I'm just going to go into the bin folder because that's where my compiler is. That's the compiler we've been using, so you just select that and click open. That will get added there. Now I'm just going to apply that, so that gets added. I'm going to go to tools again and just add another, this time just the DOS command, and maybe we'll just call this CMD for now, and then we can configure it and say OK. So those two things get added. Now once they're added, now you can click on the plus button and then choose the first option here for GCC. So I've already set up the options, so I'm going to just show you what the options are. So under compile C program, which will be the GCC one first, what you need to do is selecting it from here will give you the parameters that you're going to be using. So this command contains where the GCC compiler is, and these here are the parameters that we've been using. So minus wall, minus where, minus capital O, minus small o, and then just I've got a $sign and then the base name .exe. What this does is it just says, well, give it the same name as, you know, the file that I'm going to send to GCC to compile, and then this dollar file just says the file that I'm working on. And then the only other thing you've got to make sure is ticked here is just capture output, and then you can turn this on or off depending on whether you're going to get your program to beep automatically for you. And then saving all documents just makes it more straightforward, and then you can apply this and move on to the command line one. Now the command line one is this one here, and the only parameters that's got is to say, well, run the file, the exe file that's created, and the folder is going to be the same folder as the file that you've got, and this time all of these boxes are unticked. So those are the very straightforward ones. The other thing is and then you apply that. The other thing is to rename these. If you click on tools, it's kind of a little bit fiddly, but you just have to kind of double click on them and then you can rename your tools. I don't need these because my other ones are already set up. So let's go to OK. Now, once those are set up, the other thing that you can do under View is you can view toolbars and tools, and what that will give you is it'll give you this huge window with all of the tools associated with it. And I just basically went to Options and Add Remove Buttons, and then I just took off the ticks next to all the tools that I didn't want and just kept the two that I've got set up here. Now some of you might have selected Java as well, so it kind of depends which tool you've got, but just make sure that these are the ones associated with the things that we've just set up. So now to set up a new program, so this is testing TextPad, and then we'll just do a hash include of the standard IO library. It's a header file, and then we're going to set up our int main, and then just put our braces in, and then we're just going to printf from within TextPad. So I'll just make an error just to show you what happens. So now I've typed in my program. If I click Compile C Program when I mouse over this tool, it's going to ask me where I want to save it. So this you can save wherever you've got your folder set up. So I've set this up so that it automatically saves as a C file. So test TextPad for now, and then save that, and it will now give me an error at the bottom here. It will say tools completed but with exit code 1, which means that there's an error, and there's a few errors here. One is I'm missing a semicolon, and it says that, and it gives here the line number. So to make sure we get the line number coming up, I'm just clicked in my TextPad program, and I'm just going to view line numbers so I can see where they are. So this error on line 8 is saying that I've forgotten my semicolon, and this error you'll probably notice, which means that you've reached the end of a non-void function, which means it's expecting a return. So we're just going to return 0 and compile it again. And now it says successfully compiled, and now my second tool, I can run it because this is my command prompt, and here it runs, and I didn't put a new line in. So that should make compiling and executing the programs from session 2 on C a lot simpler for you.